Okay, so we have ELA Broom Dog Part 2 right here. Elian, you got it. Come on. So you scroll down. We're going to watch this video and then we're going to do the class kick assignment. It says learning target. Identify and make sense of idioms and similes in the text. Watch the video. Let me open it up.
Palindrome. Thanks for tuning in to this week's kids vlog. The palindrome of the day is noon. N-O-O-N. You remember what a palindrome is, don't you? A word that sounds exactly the same forwards and backwards. Today we're going to be talking about idioms. An idiom is a group of words that's become a phrase or a saying. Sometimes the words themselves in these idioms don't actually make a lot of sense. In fact, they sound like nonsense, but because people have kept on saying them, they now have meaning. Here are a selection of my favorite.
Here's some idioms. Here's some examples.
I've been on the fence now for a long time, but I really love her. I think it's time I tie the knot. Stop pulling my leg. Look, I know it'll cost me an arm and a leg, but it's the best thing since sliced bread. Since it's been raining cats and dogs, I've been feeling a little bit under the weather. I've got it. I've hit the nail on the head. Don't cry over spilt milk. And I've got some great news. And that's just the icing on the cake. I've got so much on my to-do list. I think I've bitten off more than I can chew. I can't handle it anymore. This is the last straw. You're going to be on TV? Break a leg! Well, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's kids vlog. Don't forget, keep on.
Okay. So, an idiom is a phrase that doesn't mean what it literally is saying. Come in. No, come in quietly. Okay, so like when they say it's raining cats and dogs outside, like is it literally raining cats and dogs from the sky?
It's raining really
No, it just means that it's raining really, really hard or a lot. Sophie, put that away or I will take it away. Nope, that's not put away. Okay, so now we're focusing on idioms. So open up the class kick assignment, Broom Dog Part 2. Log in using your name or you will not get credit for your assignment. Dylan, ready? Okay, so today as you read, also there are 9 pages, but page 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are in Spanish, okay? So we only have page 1, 2, 3. Page 4 is your possible answers to check. Okay. To do, as you read, highlight the sentence that tells you what injuries Canton's mother received in her accident. And part 2, highlight 2 things Mr. Munch does to help Canton after his mother's accident. Okay, so we're highlighting on this page. Ready? You're following along as I'm reading. Yes, Ariana.
Is it supposed to show his thing? Because it says, it shows a hand button and I clicked it and it says your classmates need help, please help a robot and a devoted dog. That means someone that
If I have helpers on, yeah. Let me see.
That means someone
Oh yeah. Let me take it off. There. Now you shouldn't have it. Okay. Ready? So let me see who's logged in on me. Shh. Alejandro, turn around. Ariana's on page 1. Bo is on page 1. Dylan is on page 1. Doggy will not get credit for the assignment. Emma is on page 1. That's not even how you spell doggy. HI will not get credit for the assignment. Ledger is on.
I'm on.
Marley is on.
I'm on. But I'm going where
Noah is on.
How do you use your name?
Sophia is on. Thomas is on. Okay.
So it's Ellie on it. Hey, I stopped her.
Okay. So we're highlighting things, okay? We're highlighting what injuries Canton's mother got after her accident. And then we're highlighting two things that Mr. Munch does to help Canton after his mother's accident. Okay, let's start reading. Eyes on your Chromebook or on my screen. And I can't really read that, so let me get my page. Ready? That's what Canton always thought until a year ago when a little blue ball went bouncing off the sidewalk into the street, and a boy named Kenzie Thompson went running after it. Canton's mom had turned her back for a moment, a split second, and by the time she realized what was happening, Kenzie was charging across the crosswalk, a school bus headed right toward him. There wasn't enough time to blow the whistle, so Canton's mother, Miss Post, went chasing after Kenzie, who, once he realized the bus was coming, froze in the middle of Portal Avenue. The bus hit the brakes. The scream of metal and smoke kicking up from the burning rubber filled the air as Miss Post threw her entire body into Kenzie, knocking him forward. The bus turning just enough to avoid hitting Kenzie, but not enough to avoid slightly bumping her. But a slight bump from a bus ain't so slight. But a broken shoulder and bruised hip is much better than a burial.
I'm going to die late.
But the whole thing was devastating to Canton. Canton always waited for his mother after school, killing time by helping Mr. Munch. Can you actually kill time? No, that is an example of a idiom. Thank you, Noah. Okay.
Should we highlight it?
No, we're not highlighting idioms. But we're highlighting what injuries Canton's mother received. Do we know already?
Yeah.
Okay, raise your hand. What's one injury that Canton's mom received, Ledger? A broken shoulder. Let me get my marker. Sophie, hold on. Okay, Sophie.
And bruised hip.
And a bruised hip. Okay, highlight. Ready? Let me find it.
I found it.
Okay, ready? I just spoke. I lost it now.
It's up.
Oh, right here. But a broken shoulder and bruised hip. Highlight 10, 9, 8. Marley, take your hood off. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and Leon, 0. Okay. Back over to Canton always. Ready? Canton always waited for his mother after school, killing time by helping Mr. Munch, the custodian, do custodial things. Actually, mostly Canton just sat around listening to Mr. Munch complain about things like the bathrooms. But on the day Canton's mother was hit by a bus, the conversation about why kids throw pennies on the floor like pennies don't spend was cut short by Jasmine Jordan and Terrence Jumper, who came back into the school screaming about it. Following along on your screen. Following along on your screen. Miss Post got hit by a school bus, a sentence Canton never expected to hear. And hearing it was like hearing the world's longest whistle blow. Shrill, shredding his eardrums. His skin was crawling. Felt like it was changing color from brown to yellow. School bus yellow. By the time Canton and Mr. Munch got outside, sirens were already blaring down Portal Avenue. Miss Post was back to work in a week. Whistle in mouth, vest strapped on, altered only by the sling holding her shoulder in place. Excuse me. She went back to normal. She had to. Said it was just part of the job. But not Canton. He didn't go back to normal. The afternoon, his mother returned to the corner to guide students across the street. Mr. Munch found Canton in the bathroom after school, sitting on the nasty tile floor in the corner, his head pressed against his knees. Canton, what you doing in here? Mr. Munch asked. When Canton lifted his head up, Mr. Munch could see he'd been crying. He could also see that Canton's chest was pumping, heaving like it was hard for him to breathe, like it would break open. Mr. Munch got down on the floor with him, squatted beside him, and talked him through some breathing exercises. Come on, Canton. Count to 10 with me. 1, 2, 3, and then... No, let's go back to 1, 10, 9, 8. Eventually, Canton could breathe, could talk, could stand. Mr. Munch walked him outside. When they made it to the corner where Miss Post was working, Canton wrapped his arms around his mother and squeezed. Held her so tight she winced, her shoulders still a sack of broken bone.
Miss Poppy, there's something we can highlight about.
Well, just raise your hand. Where are we? Okay, I'm okay. We're okay, she chanted in his ear, trying to figure out how to get him to let go so she could do her job, but not wanting to let go because he was also her job. Mr. Munch patted Canton on his shoulder, realizing there was no way this boy would let go of his mother. Mr. Munch decided he would step into the street, stick his fingers in his mouth and whistle. He put his hand up and yelled at the cars. I'm telling y'all right now, you hit me and I'm hitting you back. Once the traffic stopped, he yelled for all the waiting students to get on, cross the street. Then he turned back toward the stopped cars and puffed his chest, almost bucking, daring them to move. Okay, I'm going to pause right here. So on the next day, just raise your hand quietly, Ledger. I know your hand's raised. Yes, Ledger.
You can highlight what,
Sophie, eyes are over here. Good. We can highlight what Mr. How Mr. Munch helped Canton, right? Okay, so who remembers how did he help him? Thomas?
When he wet his face and he whistled and told stop.
Okay. Ledger? Dylan.
By counting
By counting to 10, helping him breathe. Okay, so where is that on the second column or third column?
Oh, I see it.
The second column?
Squatted beside him and talked.
Okay, towards the bottom.
Breathing exercises.
Canton, what you doing in here? Mr. Munch asked. When Canton lifted his head up, Mr. Munch could see he'd been crying. He could also see that Canton's chest was pumping, heaving like it was hard for him to breathe, like it would break open. Mr. Munch got down on the floor with him, squatted beside him, and what did he say? And
Count to 10. Squatted beside him and talked him through.
squatted beside him and talked him through some breathing exercises. Okay, so that's what we need to highlight. Squatted beside him and talked him through some breathing exercises. Quickly, Sophie. Quickly, Lilian. Dylan, highlight. Merly. Thank you, Alejandro. Thank you, Emma.
Wait, what did it
He squatted beside him and talked him through some breathing exercises. Yes, Ariana.
I'm done.
Okay, when you're done, what's the next thing? Uh-huh. Yes. Dylan, do you have it? Will you move on? It's supposed to say idiom. Okay, ready? Okay, let's keep reading. Canton and Mr. Oh, the next day, right?
Yes.
The next day, Mr. Munch met Canton outside his last class of the day, Mr. Devonzel's social studies class. Elian, follow along on your screen. How are you feeling? I'm okay. Still got the jitters? Canton nodded, just slightly, trying to hide his embarrassment. Elian, want to take a walk with me? I want to give you something. Canton and Mr. Munch sauntered the halls of the school, pushing dust and hair that looked like dust, and coins and candy wrappers and a random sock and drawstrings. Okay, let's go to page 2. Thomas, that's not how you say. Okay, page 2, ready? Quickly, Thomas. Highlight one more thing Mr. Munch does to help Canton after his mother's accident. Okay, at the top. Ready? Page 2. 10. Give me a thumbs up if you're on page 2. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, at the top. And loose braids, and who knows what else. As the other students bustled around, eventually funneling through the doors into the outside world. When my daughter, Winnie, went off to college, my wife got so nervous that she'd call Winnie multiple times a day. And whenever Winnie wouldn't answer, Zena would just lose it. Mr. Munch started. Zena's your wife? Yeah, Mr. Munch grinned. Best person I ever known. But she's been through a lot. Seen a lot of the world when she was young. And it made her terrified for our daughter. Made her anxious about every step Winnie took away from us. What if something happens to her? What if she needs us? What if she's in danger? Zena would go on and on with these questions, up all night, sick with fear all day. And what you say? Nothing, but what I did was buy her a dog. A dog? Yep. They stopped at the custodian closet. The old man pushed the pile of middle school debris into the corner, then pulled out a million keys, flipping through them like pages of a book. Not because she needed something else to care for. No dog can take the place of our baby girl. But I read this thing about emotional support animals. What's that? Basically, it's like having a dog to make you feel better. Finally, he picked the right key and opened the closet. Okay, scroll up to the top. Door. I mean, what's better than a dog, right? They went into the closet, which was big enough to be an office. Pictures on the wall of Mr. Munch's wife and daughter, and the dog, a small, curly-haired thing with an underbite so ugly it was cute. At least Canton thought so. But besides its cuteness, Canton kept thinking about all the things better than dogs, like ice cream and skateboards, and maybe a girlfriend one day, or even a girl that's a friend, and a good joke. Oh, and video games. Then, after all that, dogs were cool. Marley, put your feet down. Mr. Munch, why are you telling me this? Canton asked. Thank you. He was thinking maybe Mr. Munch was trying to be his emotional support dog, except not a dog. His emotional support human? And all this was just a way to keep his mind off his mother and the fear of a school bus swiping her again. Why am I telling you this? He repeated Canton's question. Because I made you one. You made me a dog? Well, I couldn't just buy you a dog. Your mom might not be okay with that. But I thought maybe this could help. Mr. Munch reached into a locker and pulled out the head of a broom, the sweeping part, which he'd detached from the broomstick. Excuse me. Thank you. The straw was curled and mangled as if Mr. Munch had been cleaning the sidewalk for like 20 years with it. He had drawn big black circles on one side, like eyes, and an oval with a tic-tac-toe board in the middle of it, which Canton assumed was the mouth. At the top, 2 pieces of cloth cut into ears and glued in place. Okay, what's one more thing that Mr. Munch did for Canton? Sophie?
You made him a dog.
He made him a dog. Do you agree?
Yep.
Okay, so let's highlight it. Towards the bottom of the page, right? Because I made you what? You made me a dog. So let's kind of highlight that whole part. Okay, highlight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you got it? Give me a thumbs up if you highlighted that last part. Thank you, Marley. Thank you, Bo. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Alejandro. You got it, Dylan? Thank you. Dylan, you can go now. Close your Chromebook, you can go. Okay. Let's go over the simile right here. Oh. So right up here, the highlighted in red, right? It says, keys flipping through them like pages of a book. That is a what, everybody? Thank you, Emma. That is a what, everybody? Thank you, Sophie, and somebody over there. Simile. Okay. Go to page 3. Type your answers to the questions below. Yes, when we're done with this, okay? Okay, so let's quickly go through these. Type your answers to the questions below. So, read the paragraph from. Okay, start reading while I get my paper. Okay, read this paragraph from the story. Miss Post got hit by a school bus. A sentence Canton never expected to hear. And hearing it was like hearing the world's longest whistle blow shrill, shredding his eardrums. The underlined sentence is a simile. The author uses the word like to compare two things. What two things are being compared? Blank and blank. What two things are being compared? What two things are being compared? Come on, Sophie. Sophie?
Mom and whistle.
Mom and whistle. He's not comparing his mom to a whistle.
Well, the bus. The person talking and the whistle.
Okay, so person talking and whistle being blown. Whistle being blown. Quickly, Elian, start typing. Good job. So person talking and whistle being blown. Got it, Marley? Okay, number 2.
No.
Read this sentence from the text. Canton always waited for his mother after school, killing time by helping Mr. Mudge the custodian do custodial things. Killing time is an idiom. It means something different than the actual words. You can't literally kill time. What does killing time actually mean? Ledger?
Oh, it means to make time go by faster.
Okay, so making time go by faster, or getting rid of time, making time go by faster, quickly. Okay, number 3, ready? When Canton heard that his mother was hit by the bus, the author says that his skin was crawling, felt like it was changing color from brown to yellow. School bus yellow. The underlined phrase is an idiom. It doesn't mean his skin was literally crawling around. What do you think it means? Sophie?
It means like he had the shiver down his spine.
He was feeling shivers. Period. Quickly, Leon. He was feeling shivers. Okay, then we have number 4. Okay, I'm scrolling up to number 4. Ready? Okay, read this sentence from the text. The old man pushed the pile of middle school debris into the corner, then pulled out a million keys flipping through them like pages of a book. The underlined phrase is a
Simile.
thank you, Emma. It compares two things using the word like. What two things are being compared? I know Sophie's got it. Anybody else? Okay. Sophie?
He was like going through the keys one by one.
So keys and
Book. No.
not book, but
Flipping.
not what things in the book. Keys like
Pages.
pages. So keys and pages. Keys and pages. Quickly, Lilian. Keys and pages. Okay, number 5. Read this paragraph from the text. Canton and Mr. Munch sauntered the halls of the school, pushing dust and hair that looked like dust, and coins and candy wrappers and a random sock, and drawstrings and loose braids, and who knows what else, as the other students bustled around, eventually funneling through the doors into the outside world. A. What can you infer, make a reasonable guess, that Mr. Munch was doing as he walked down the hall? Elian? What was Mr. Munch doing? ¿Qué estaba haciendo en el pasillo? ¿Ah? El Mr. Munch.
Creo que estaba viendo los lockers.
Estaba viendo los lockers.
Creo.
Okay. Sophie?
Probably cleaning.
He was probably cleaning, so maybe he was sweeping down the hall. Okay, so Mr. Munch was probably cleaning or sweeping the hall. Period. Mr. Munch was probably cleaning or sweeping the hall. Okay. B. Highlight the evidence in the paragraph that proves your inference, reasonable guess, is correct. So what clues can we highlight that this is giving us a correct inference? What should we highlight, Sophie?
Through the paragraph that he was probably cleaning is the hair looked like dust and coins.
The hair looked like
Mr.
dust.
Munch's
Was
finger
pushing dust.
was pushing.
Pushing dust, and the hair looked like dust. Thomas, take your breath, please. Okay, highlight. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thomas, put your head down. Wear it correctly or go hang it up. Yes, Emma. Okay, please go. Yeah. Thank you for waiting. Take the hall pass. You still need to log in, okay? Okay. 6. Ready? Put it down. It's 11:40. The times are a little wacky, remember? Yeah. Okay. 6. What evidence is there that Mr. Munch is a kind, caring man? Type 3 things Mr. Munch does that proves he is kind. Okay, I'm going to scroll down. Sophie, what's one thing?
He helped the kids stop crying.
He helped Canton stop crying. Oh, Canton needs to be a capital C. He helped Canton stop crying. Sophie?
And he helped his mom and
Helped
while he was hugging her.
Canton's helped Canton's mom do her work. Right? Okay, our third one, Sophie.
He made him like a dog / toy.
Good. He made her, or him, he made Canton, capital C, he made Canton a dog, quotation marks, period.
I'm gonna put
Those are 3 examples that Mr. Canton is a kind, caring man, right? Okay, that is all of our Broomdog Part 2 for today. If you are at home and you need to check your answers, you need to go on to the next page. Then you need to do 3 to 4 units of Lexia for today.